again, guys. Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Yes, I did finally get my hair fixed up for so it looks a little different because it hasn't grown out fully yet, but I got my hair retwisted, which I should have done a long time ago. But cosmetics aside, we're here to talk about the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Lots of stuff going on, some tragic news this weekend, but before we get into any of that, I want to remind you that I do have some free goodies down in the description box below for you guys. Yes, it is a low time in the stock market. Yes, the chart is down here, which is where everybody wishes that they had bought at when in the future the chart is back up here. So don't be one of the people that buy it when it's up here. Buy it when it's down here if you think that's the wise thing for you to do. Of course, make your own investment decisions, but you can get some free stocks. 12 free stocks from Webull. At the bare minimum, it could be worth $34, so it's essentially $34 for free, all the way up to $1,800, or God knows what else you could get with the stocks that you get. So if you want to try that out, the link is down below in the description box below. It is an affiliate link. Get yourself 12 free stocks from Webull. Sign up while the offer is still available. But now let's talk about what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Of course, we want to start off sending our condolences to the friends, family, and former co-workers of Antonio Inoki. Again, 2022, a year that is going to be remembered for a lot of massive stories, which, and again, any of these stories would have been massive news in any other year. But 2022, once again, giving us something kind of weird and sad. But this one, Inoki's been sick for a long time, so people were expecting that it would be happening eventually. At 79 years old, Antonio Inoki did pass away. He'd been battling with health problems for a number of years. Last made a public appearance at a honorary show in Japan where, some people were shocked at the way he looked. Now, Inoki, if you're not familiar with it, and I mean, anybody watching my channel probably is familiar with Inoki, but in case you're not, Inoki, many of you know him as the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling back in 1972. It wasn't the only wrestling promotion he founded. He was also instrumental in Pride, the mixed martial arts world. Of course, we all know about Inokiism that he tried to inject into New Japan with dubious results from that. But Inoki was an innovator in the business. He famously had a fight, one of the first ever mixed martial arts matches, really, with Muhammad Ali. He wrestled Ric Flair in North Korea in front of reportedly 150,000 wrestling fans. He was a senator in Japan, negotiated hostage releases with Saddam Hussein to get hostages released for the country. Got censored for it by Japan because they told him not to do it. They told him not to go to North Korea, and all kinds of stuff. I would think, the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, Mount Rushmore is particularly Japanese wrestling, and Inoki is definitely going to be on there. The guy transcended many different generations from the 60s to the 70s into the 80s, all the way into the 90s, wrestling matches against the Great Muta and Sting and Big Van Vader and plenty of other wrestlers at the time who were big stars. Was very famous for his real life feud with Baba, and them going back and forth between the two different promotions that they ran. They were two of the biggest names, along with Dozan and a lot of other guys in the history of Japanese wrestling. Yeah, a lot of people have come out with words for it, even here in the West. Triple H, Tony Khan, and plenty of wrestlers and former promoters have all given their condolences on the passing of Antonio Inoki. And if you don't know who Inoki is, you've seen the results of his work, because I cannot think of, whether it's Lucha Libre, even some hardcore stuff, traditional wrestling, current New Japan, or current just Japanese wrestling in general, and a lot of stuff that goes on in America and in the UK. A lot of things were innovated by Antonio Inoki, and it's a sad passing. But again, it's in a year of a lot of other crazy stuff. Any other year would be the story of the year, but it's very sad. But I think it suffices to say that the legacy Antonio Inoki has left will far outlive him, and it probably most likely will far outlive any of us. So that is a big feat. That man lived his best life, absolutely, and did things his way. So all respect to his family. We will definitely miss one of the innovators of Japanese wrestling, one of the innovators of wrestling in general, a true pioneer in the business and in the industry, Antonio Inoki. There's more rumors going around about AEW, and I don't know how much I want to read into this, but we've got this current thing going on with Andrade El Idolo, and Andrade did announce on Friday's edition of Dynamite that him and Ten are going to be having a match. Ten said if he wins the match, Andrade has to leave AEW, which Andrade has leaned into. He even responded to a fan who tweeted him and said he hopes that Ten wins, and Andrade said me too. So it looks like there's a possibility Andrade might be leaving AEW. And again, you have to remember this all could be a work. So don't read too much into this stuff. Of course, we will know next Wednesday, or next Friday, I should say, because it's on Rampage, whether or not Andrade leaves AEW. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does. He really hasn't gotten above. I mean, Andrade's been mid-tier, mid-level, mid-card in AEW since he's been there. I don't know how long his contract is. He's been there for some time, so his contract may be coming up soon. But I'm not going to get into that. Again, I decided not to try to speculate on who's coming, who's leaving, and reading into whatever people say. It's like, if they leave, they leave. They don't, they don't. Once I see the official announcements, I will see the official announcement. So that is something to keep an eye on over this next week. There probably will be a lot of buzz and scuttlebutt over whether or not Andrade is leaving AEW, whether or not he's going to go back to WWE, whether he's going back to Mexico, wherever he's going. It seems kind of weird with Rush now being part of there and them starting that La Faction. And but again, a lot of that stuff that they've started just never seemed to go anywhere with Andrade. It's one of the criticisms of AEW with them just being loaded with so much stuff. Certain things that probably would have gotten more time with less people on the show. The Andrade storylines kind of got lost in the shuffle. He's one of many that got lost in the shuffle in AEW. Lessons to be learned. But again, we'll look forward to see what happens in this match with 10 live. It'll be a live show here 45 minutes down the street in DC at next week's AEW Rampage. The last little bit of news I wanted to talk about, it's not really news, it's more commentary, but I posted a tweet and I asked if people had anybody apologize to Malakai Black yet. So Malakai Black put out this video on his Instagram page, and I'll put some of it in here.
My stuff about my conditional release, that it's false. So how are you guys still thinking, why are people still writing that I've got my release? Guys, I don't know how like, why do you trust these people to tell you the truth? Because it's not true. And like in the time where I'm supposed to take care of myself and kind of wind down, I have to deal with this kind of stupid bullshit from people who are not in the business, pretending that they are in the business with all their sources. And you know, the worst thing about it is, for the past 3 days, nothing but weird, hateful comments. And today, even 2 death threats. Death threats? Death threats? You wish death upon a person because of what someone else has said, and then says that it's confirmed. It's not confirmed. Clearly, it's not confirmed. Like, and of course, like, again, like, does anyone understand that, like, in the time where I'm going through this stuff and I'm kind of dealing with a bunch of stuff in a very productive manner, that exactly doesn't help. And what I hate about it is that none of these dirt sheets will take responsibility. None of these guys will take accountability and say, oh shit, we fucked up, I'm sorry.
And this goes to some of the things that I've been talking about recently on the channel about the wrestling media and people jumping to conclusions about things. And Malakai saying that, you know, a lot of the stuff that was said about him isn't true. Buddy Matthews, the day after the news story broke that he was taking time off, he posted up tweets about fake, and all this other stuff. And I have said repeatedly, like, look, we really don't know. All that we know is that Malakai Black asked for time off. Buddy Matthews asked for time off from AEW. Now it looks like they're going to be back sooner than later in a couple weeks or whatever. And, you know, it did look a little weird with him waving goodbye to the audience. But again, the reports were, and the rumors, and again, they are just rumors, but the rumors that sounded plausible is that he was taking time off because he had personal issues. He says he's fine now. Buddy Matthews seems to be the same way, and that happens with wrestlers a lot. That happens with people. You know, these guys aren't machines that just go, and you just wind them up and just roll them out there, you know. Things happen, they get burned out, they need time off, they need to recharge and rethink things. And it seems to be that was the case with these guys. Now, again, doesn't mean that they weren't thinking about going back to WWE because Triple H is in charge. Doesn't mean that they aren't unhappy with their booking so far in AEW. But I think the House of Black is, there's a lot of potential there. And whether or not they're going to continue with that or go into a new direction with Buddy Matthews and Malakai Black, that's yet to be seen. But I did hear that Meltzer got upset about, well, he didn't get upset about it, but he did say that he did stick with the story that Malakai and Buddy wanted to go to WWE, even though neither one of them has said that. And neither one of them had said anything about that. So I'm not sure what's going on there. And I don't really think it's really too much of our business to worry about too much. If he's going to be on the show, he's going to be on the show. If he's not, then, that's his decision. It's not really for anything, and the reason I say it's not anything for fans to really get too worried or worked up about is because Malakai Black said in that video he was receiving death threats from people because he wanted to leave, or they thought he was going to leave AEW and go back to WWE. And it's like, this is the kind of stuff, and we talk about AEW sweaties too, they get really kind of crazy, and there is just, our culture is going through a very strange time right now with not really knowing and not being mature enough, I'd say, to kind of handle this platform, these mediums, and giving everybody a chance to speak to anybody. And we're still, as a species, learning how to deal with that. And these kind of things, this wrestling gossip, well, I don't even call it wrestling media, it's just wrestling gossip stuff that goes on that, yes, I'm guilty of engaging in it. Everybody on YouTube and podcasters and Twitter and Instagram and everything else, we're all guilty of doing it and spreading rumors. We hear rumors and we report them and all this other stuff. And as I've said, I'm going to try to be better. I did say in the last video I talked about this, that Malakai Black may be looking at sitting out his contract or getting bought out, so I will apologize. I don't know if anybody else is going to apologize, but I will apologize for reporting that rumor, if that rumor was not true, to Malakai Black. And again, I think just for my own integrity, I might just try to stay away. I mean, even saying these things are rumors, like I said, I always say rumors, but sometimes it's probably better even not to even just mention them if there's no sign of confirmation. And saying I have heard, or it has been said to me, or rumors persist, reading that from some of these dirt sheet places, that's about as good as saying I'm guessing that. So, a lot of this stuff sometimes is made up. So we'll see what happens over the next coming weeks. Is Andrade leaving AEW? Are Malakai Black and Buddy Matthews coming back to AEW? Are they still going to be doing the House of Black, or are they going in a different direction? Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. And until next time, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary. For you patrons on my Patreon page, we've got a special video up there for the high tier patrons this weekend. So if you are one of my patrons, definitely check that out. And until next time, we have a lot more to talk about here as we head into the month of October, which should be kind of crazy here with a lot of big events coming up from New Japan, AEW, and WWE during this month. So until then, I'll see you guys later here on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.